Hey friends, we are here today trying to narrow down the 2022 targets. We've got 10 more sports cards and collectibles to go through. Stick around. Hello, sports card collector, investor, all of my collectibles friends out there. I hope that everybody is having a great day so far. We are kind of motoring through this series. Initially, I wanted to do 50 cards, so 5 videos of 10 cards, narrow it down from 50 collectibles down to 20 as being the targets for 2022. But honestly, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get to, the 50 individual items. And I think I've got enough to work with to where this might be that last kind of target video. But one thing that you will notice though is that there's multiples for each one. So I'm like, for example, in the last video, I had 3 different Tom Brady, rare insert, numbered insert cards. So essentially that's 3 different cards. I had it as one item on that list of 10. So I think there's going to be enough to work with here, but we'll see how it goes. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you like what you hear, the like button, and please connect with us on Instagram at The Personal Finance Dad and Twitter if you use Twitter, The Personal Finance Dad. All right, let's stop wasting time and get into this, shall we? All right, first off, a card that really had not been on my radar just based on price point, just being kind of way outside of where I wanted to be. And we're going to look at a Luka Doncic Silver Prism rookie card and a PSA 9. Now, I know what you might be saying is well, this isn't really a numbered card. This isn't really a rare or scarce card. And true, it is not a numbered Luka rookie card, but I still kind of look, though, at this particular card as a important card for Luka collectors. Watch my channel, you know that I'm not a fan of that base Prism card as being kind of like the card. I never understood how it ever got to $2,000, but it is what it is. And, the Silver Prism, though, I do believe is just a tougher pull. From what I've heard from the people that were actually chasing those Silver Prisms back, opening boxes for them, those were not necessarily easy pulls. The pop reports are quite a bit lower than what you would see for a base Prism, of course. And also just like the shininess of it. I like the look of that card. I would almost rather have the Silver Prism than have like a different colored parallel that's not a color, not like a jersey match. Like I've mentioned before, I'd really love to have that blue Prism that's numbered. I believe it's numbered out of 199. Those are awesome, but like an orange or, a red or something like that, I would rather have just the plain old Silver Prism. And so the PSA 9 is kind of getting to a point where it's in the price range, and we'll see what kind of happens with this card, especially with there not being as much kind of excitement around Luka right now, just with the Mavericks being kind of a 500 team at best, and not really looking like a championship team. I'm going to watch these and just kind of see, do they drop more? Do they get to a price point where, it makes sense for me? All right, next on the list, a Jerry Rice auto, either Flawless or National Treasures. Now, I believe it's National Treasures that might be exquisite. I do have a Jerry Rice auto, but it's in his college uni is the picture. And so I'd really like to have a nice Jerry Rice Flawless. Ideally, like a patch auto would be awesome. I missed on a few auctions for these that got away from me a couple of months ago, but it would be nice to have kind of a 49ers Jerry Rice auto with a patch ideally, but would be cool just to have a nice auto for him. Just being the all-time greatest receiver in my opinion. I know folks will throw around Randy Moss and some other guys, but Jerry Rice was just so consistent. And growing up, the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, my team, were in the same division as the 49ers, and we played them tough with our Dome Patrol defense. But Montana, Rice, John Taylor, and those guys, Rathman, those guys were just a load to handle. So I am looking for kind of a Jerry Rice 49ers NT or Flawless card, a nice one. All right, we're going to mix it up a little bit here. If you know me, if you watch the channel, you know that I'm collecting black box NES games, and those are the original launch titles for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. I am 40 years old, so I am that 8-bit Christmas guy. If you saw that, what is it, on HBO Max, that movie, that was it for me. When I was 8 years old at Christmas, I got a Nintendo, and that was life. And so what I'm doing is I'm going back and buying complete in-box that are graded illustrated, typically by Wada. Wouldn't be against a VGA copy, but I like the display, how the display cases are for Wada. And so I'll put just kind of like a picture of what I'm talking about. I do have some of these already. I've got, the original Super Mario Brothers. I've got Duck Hunt. I've got Pro Wrestling, Hogan's Alley, maybe one or two others I'm not thinking of, but there's a bunch of them. I like the black box art. I talk about it. It's the original CryptoPunks. It's the 8-bit, stuff that came out in the 80s that started it all. So for me, it's a big nostalgia in the feels all about these types of games. And so I want to keep on collecting them. I'd like to add a few more. So I've got 3 to 4 I'd like to add in 2022 if possible. And it's CIB copies. Ideally, maybe a 7.0, 7.5, 8.0 would be awesome. Michael Jordan BGS star cards. And I put this as just kind of plural because I'm not exactly sure which ones I would like. And again, this kind of falls into, I'm picking 10 items, but there could be a variety of these, that are targets. But a friend of mine, Dave, if you're watching, he brought these to my attention. Not that I didn't know about them. Of course I've known about them, but brought some more information to me that I thought was really interesting. Frankly, I just like the photos on the star cards a lot better than really, well, not better than the 86 Fleer. I shouldn't say that. It's just that it's a lot more common, the 86 Fleer rookie card and the sticker rookie. Still targets, still great iconic cards, don't get me wrong. There are also risks associated with star cards being counterfeits where they printed, over and over and over again later on. There are risks, so I'm looking for BGS graded star cards ideally. But like I said, I haven't necessarily picked out which ones, and there's 84, there's 85, there's 86, so many cool ones. And I'm going to stick with Jordan. I thought about maybe going after some different, Barkley and some of these other players, but not for 2022. I think I'm going to hold on that, but I would like to add, if I could add 1 or 2 of the Jordan cards, I think that would be pretty awesome. Amazing Spider-Man 300 and a 9.6 signed by Todd McFarlane. And for those that don't know McFarlane, he did this famous cover for ASM 300 with the first, kind of that black suit on an Amazing Spider-Man cover. And Todd McFarlane is the creator of Venom. And so he is famous in the comic book world. He is also the creator of Spawn, one of my all-time favorite characters in the Image Comics line. And when I was young, Image Comics was everything. They spun off from Marvel, started their own, Jim Lee and some of these other guys started Image Comics and just made some really awesome books. So this Amazing Spider-Man 300, I would consider it an iconic book. It's not a rare book. There are a lot of copies of it out there. I really like Todd McFarlane's signature. You can find them. Some of them are smaller, but you can find some that are really big and kind of loopy. He's got like a cool auto. And so, not a rare auto though. It's kind of like Stan Lee with Marvel stuff. People will get, it's signed by Stan Lee. Well, Stan Lee signed a zillion things. So you have to keep that in mind when you're looking at price points. So I have seen kind of this ASM 9.6 signed by McFarlane. It's not inexpensive, but I would think it would be cool just to have a copy of it signed by him because it's arguably his most famous book outside of Spawn #1. Continuing along, I've been collecting Joe Namath autos. If you're watching the channel for a little bit, you've noticed that I probably picked up a lot of the Namath stuff. And I would like to add a Jets auto, probably a flawless, but with a patch. I think it'd be cool to have a cool Jets patch. And I've seen a few of these. Again, it's just all about price point. Broadway Joe, I think just being kind of the big personality that he is, he's always going to be an important figure in NFL history. And so I want to continue on with another Joe Namath item. But the one thing I don't have is a cool patch to go with the auto. So maybe it's flawless, maybe it's National Treasures. I'm not necessarily worried about the brand as much as just finding a cool looking card that's got all those features. Secret Wars #8, CGC 9.8. This is a book that I had. I bought it a few years ago for a couple of $100, and I ended up selling it maybe 6-7 months back for $550 or something like that. And now I wish I hadn't. Now, I want it back. It's the most iconic cover. I shouldn't say the most iconic cover. It's just a really awesome cover. It's got a reddish hue. It's got, the black symbiote suit on it. It's sweet. And I felt, and you know what, I told the person I sell it to, I was messaging with, I was like, I really don't, I know I'm going to regret, selling this. and I was right, you know, and I want it back. Now those copies are about $750 roughly. So again, for the price point, if it can get kind of sub $500 or in that same range as where I sold it for, I would like to have another copy of that back. Continuing on with Marvel, the 1990 Impel Marvel cards set. I do have a complete set of this in a binder, just so that I can have the cards, look through them. It's an awesome set that I collected as a kid. A lot of nostalgia there. The packs were everywhere. It wasn't a rare set, but what is rare-ish nowadays is just there's condition rarity. You know, how many of these survived in good condition? And frankly, there's not lots of them yet. Now, I think that those population reports are going to go up, and a lot of people just haven't graded maybe some nice copies. But the reality is that, you know, a lot of those were beat up. They were off-centered, you know, etc. It's not the first set of Marvel cards. There's Marvel cards that go back, but that was kind of the first set of the 90s that kickstarted a lot of the, you know, the Marvel Masterpieces, the Fleer Ultra, you know, the Marvel PMGs and all these different things. That was the beginning set. It's fairly basic, but I like the simplicity of the look of the set. I would like to have a few, maybe, you know, 3 or 4 PSA 10s or SGC 10s of, you know, Wolverine, Hulk, you know, some of the more important characters in that set. But I will wait for them. You know, this is not like a must-have. It's a PC type thing, so it's all about price point. My hope is that population on those just rise enough. There's enough that kind of hit the market to where pricing comes down on them enough to where it just makes sense. Going back to a card that I had and I sold, a Wayne Gretzky Topps rookie card. This is one that I got few years back when I got back into the hobby in 2018. I bought a copy of this, a mid-grade SGC, again, for about $200. Ended up selling it kind of in that $500-600 range about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago. And it's a card that I want to have back. Just a mid-grade copy of it would be great. It's not something that I really necessarily want to have, you know, a PSA 9 or something, you know, but I think, you know, just with it being such an iconic card, I would love to have another one in the collection. So add that to the list. I want that Wayne Gretzky Topps rookie card back. And then we'll round out the video with another Jerry Rice card. I've talked about this. I've got the Barry Sanders Platinum Portraits 97 metal insert. These were 1 out of 288 packs according to the boxes. And, you know, so it's a rare insert. If you look at the basketball side, the Michael Jordan, the Kobe Bryant of these cards go for insane money, huge money. The football card inserts have not caught up. They may never catch up, but I just don't understand how they haven't. I don't get it, but that's okay because I love football cards and it's at a price point that makes sense for me and works for me. So the Jerry Rice Platinum Portraits is one that I keep, you know, it's like I've been bidding on them, haven't been winning them, etc. But it's one I would like to add in 2022 as one of those rare inserts, whether it's raw or it's graded. All depends on price point, of course. So guys, let me know your thoughts on the additions, or the targets, I should say. But yeah, I think that I've got enough here to work with in 2022 because of course there will be things that pop up that I'll end up buying. There's an opportunity that are outside of kind of these targets that, you know, here and there, but I would like to prioritize these. These are going to be my priority cards, and I'm really going to try to stick to this list as being like first, you know, focus, and then moving on to some of the other things that do pop up. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments and some of your targets. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.